से पढ़ाना स्टार्ट कर रही है? Okay, so today we are going to start the British Raj that was in 1757 to 1857. Okay, so the era of coming of the East India Company. So the superiority of the Portuguese ship and navigation science helped them dominate and monopolize the East India trade in 16th century. So Portuguese wanted to dominate over. Their influence spread throughout the East India coast, and that was spices Iceland of the Indonesia. So वो क्या चाहते थे? They wanted East India coast from Persian Gulf to the Malacca. ये चाहते कि पर्शियन गल्फ से मलक्का एंड इंडोनेशिया तक इनका पावर होना चाहिए. They waged wars to protect their monopoly अगेंस्ट द यूरोपियन राइवल के अगेंस्ट वो क्या चाहते थे कि प्रोटेक्ट करें मोनोपोली. दे ऑल्सो इंडल्ज इन द प्लंडर एंड पायरेसी, बार्बरिक बिहेवियर, and they were able to rule high seas for the century of the strict discipline. They established trading settlement in the Cochin, Goa and the Daman and Diu. They managed to, ये पोर्तुगीज़ है पूरे, ठीक है. They managed to secure the many trading concessions, Mughal emperor, and more powerful land and naval strength. एंड गोवा में सबसे पहले इन्होंने गोवा को लाइक अल्फांसो अल्बुक्रुक जो था, अल्फांसो एंड अल्बुक्रुक. So he captured Goa in 1510. However, they did not face the might Mughal Empire. They are kept themselves limited to the southern area. Okay. Now later there was stiff competition with the European, French, Dutch and English. Now Dutch के बारे में अगर हम पढ़ें, so the Dutch was facing problem with hegemony of the Portuguese. Dutch East India Company established 1602, and it often considered the multinational company. It also issued a stock, paid 18% dividend and 200 years. So the company was issued 21-year charter, Dutch Parliament empowering to the wars and treaties. And the main attraction of the Asia was spices. उस समय क्या होता था कि स्पाइसेस का बहुत ज़्यादा अट्रैक्शन होता था, एंड विच आर कैरिड द स्पाइस आइसलैंड, इंडोनेशिया, जावा, सुमात्रा. सो स्ट्रगल टू गेन द फुट होल्ड ओवर द आइसलैंड. ओके, सो दे ऑल्सो, सो यहाँ पे एक मलय स्टेट भी था. तो यहाँ पर जो यू कैन सी दिस एरिया वॉज ये पूरा एरिया इन द, ये पूरा का पूरा एरिया इट्स यूरोपियन सेटलमेंट. ओके, 1498 टू 1739. नाउ वेस्टर्न इंडिया जो था सूरत, बलोच एंड अहमदाबाद. साउदर्न इंडिया में कोचीन, नागरपट्टनम. ईस्टर्न इंडिया में मुसलीपट्टनम, आंध्र प्रदेश, चिंसुरा एंड द पटना. And they also wrested Sri Lanka from the Portuguese, and the company was dissolved and it was bankrupt. इसको bankrupt कर दिया गया due to the heavy corruption. So all this debt were transferred to the government. Dutch Battalion Republic took over the company possession. Now next one is East India Company. अब इसके बारे में हमें मेन पढ़ना है पूरे मॉडर्न इंडिया में. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो थी, सबसे पहले इनका जो मतलब कंपटीशन रहता था, पोर्तुगीज़ से भी रहा, डच से भी रहा. एंड दे वांटेड ए शेयर इन द एशियन ट्रेड एंड कमोडिटीज़ इन यूरोप सच एज स्पाइस, कैलिको, सिल्क, गोल्ड एंड पर्ल्स. ओके, ड्रग्स एंड एबोनी. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वॉज फॉर्म अंडर द पेट्रोनेज ऑफ मर्चेंट एडवेंचर्स, एंड द ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी गेन ए रॉयल चार्टर एंड ईस्ट इंडिया क्वीन एलिजाबेथ जो थी, इसको रॉयल चार्टर मिल गया था 631 दिसंबर. इट ओपन अप द फैक्ट्री एंड द सूरत में सबसे पहले फैक्ट्री, देन वेस्ट कोस्ट ऑफ द 1608 में मसूलीपट्टनम में सेकेंड फैक्ट्री इन्होंने लगा दी. द कंपनी ब्राइब लोकल रूलर एंड टू एग्री टू देम साउदर्न इंडिया लोकल रूलर्स, एंड सो दिस वॉज प्राइमरली ड्यू टू द फॉल ऑफ द विजयनगर एम्पायर. ओके, सो विजयनगर एम्पायर का फॉल हो ही चुका था, 1560 तालीकोटा का युद्ध. The British were able to benefit from the chaos and disunity in the southern India and shifted their base to the Madras. Now they shifted the base to the Madras. All they needed was a lease from the local Raja, and but also let them fortify the places, coins, money, administered it for half a share in the custom revenue from the ports. तो ये सारा कुछ उनका था, कोइंस थे, मनी भी मिंट करते रहते थे, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था सारा, कस्टम रेवेन्यू भी मिलता था पोर्ट्स के थ्रू. दैट वाज द जो सोर्स था उनका कि कहाँ से पैसा आ रहा है, द मनी सोर्स. ओके, इट वाज द मनी सोर्स. नाउ नेक्स्ट वन इज next one is, okay, so this was we discussed. Now the British established the Fort George, their factory in the Madras, and मद्रास में फोर्टिफाइड किया उन्होंने, एंड वेयर हाउसेज भी बनाए. नाउ ऑफिस ऑफ द एम्प्लॉय एंड क्वार्टर्स एक्ट, ये सारी चीज़ें की इन्होंने. कैप्टन हॉकिंस जो था, ओके, कैप्टन हॉकिंस वॉज सेंट ए रॉयल मुगल कोर्ट टू अपीज द एम्परर. दिस रिजल्टेड, मतलब इसने रॉयल मुगल कोर्ट में इसको भेजा गया था कैप्टन हॉकिंस को, एंड दिस रिजल्टेड इन द कंपनी गेटिंग द परमिशन ऑफ द मुगल एम्परर जहांगीर. तो जहांगीर ने क्या किया था, इसको परमिशन दिया था ओपन ए फैक्ट्री इन द सेवरल प्लेसेस ऑफ वेस्टर्न कोस्ट. दिस रॉयल फरमान टू ओपन द फैक्ट्री ऑफ विच मुगल एम्पायर ऑफ 1615 सर थॉमस रो को सबसे पहले मिला था, एंड दस दे वर एबल टू एस्टेब्लिश ए फैक्ट्री इन सूरत, बड़ौच, अहमदाबाद, आगरा एंड मसूलीपट्टनम by 1623. The British expanded their presence to establish Eastern India by opening the factory in the Odisha. Factory were opened in the Patna and Balasore, Dhaka and Hooghly, and their aspiration for the political power. So an independent settlement of the British secured in 1651 में इनको ट्रेड की परमिशन मिल गई. They were eagerly looking forward to India revenue by gaining political power. And now next one is क्या हुआ, द आइसलैंड ऑफ बॉम्बे वॉज, जो बॉम्बे का जो आइसलैंड था, तो किंग चार्ल्स था वहाँ पे ऑफ इंग्लैंड बाय द पोर्तुगीज़. तो इन्होंने क्या किया कि ये दे दिया, किंग चार्ल्स ने दे दिया मतलब पोर्तुगीज़ को, एंड एज ए डोरी फॉर द मैरिंग द पोर्तुगीज़ प्रिंसेस. तो पोर्तुगीज़ की जो प्रिंसेस थी उनके साथ इनकी मैरिज हुई थी, तो इनको बॉम्बे का आइसलैंड मिल गया. द पोर्तुगीज़ इवेंचुअली लॉस्ट ऑल द आउटपोस्ट, दमन दीव और गोवा केवल उनके पास रहा, बाकी सब इन्होंने खो लिया. द आइसलैंड ऑफ बॉम्बे वॉज फोर्टिफाइड वर इट वॉज एक्वायर्ड बाई ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, and soon they shifted their main center of the trade in western coast of Bombay to Surat. The rise of Maratha was preventing them. Now the British ambition of the gaining political power led to increase the confrontationist attitude of the Mughal. And the Britishers ने क्या किया था कि इन्होंने सीज कर लिया हुगली को and declared the war against the Mughal Empire in 1686. The British were overconfident about their capability, and they were powerful seafarer but lacked the ability to challenge the Mughal. So thus the war was over very quickly, and it resulted the expulsion. Okay, so they had to abandon, maintain, stay put in small Iceland. अब वो छोटे आइसलैंड चले गए माउथ ऑफ गंगा के आसपास. देयर फैक्ट्री ऑफ द सूरत हो गई, मसूलीपट्टनम, विशाखापट्टनम, एंड fort at the Bombay was taken over, and their ill-founded notion of the superiority was shattered with loss at the hands of Mughal. Finally, they were able to regain the trade concessions and permitted the trade. उनको परमिशन मिल गई, and however the British with the superior navy were able to stifle all the trade in Iran and Eastern Africa. Okay, so काफ़ी superior थे ब्रिटिश, और वो अपना मतलब काफ़ी ज़्यादा व्यापार बढ़ा भी सकते थे, जो कि एशिया, नॉर्थ और ईस्टर्न अफ्रीका तक इनका व्यापार फैला हुआ था. नाउ हुआ क्या है कि 1698 में दे वर एबल टू एक्वायर द जमींदारी फॉर 3 विलेजेस. इसमें सुतातानी, कालीकाडा और गोविंदपुर, ये 3 है, सुतातानी, कालीकाडा और गोविंदपुर. यहाँ की इनको क्या मिल गई, जमींदारी मिल गई. इट वॉज हेयर दैट द बिल्ड द फोर्ट विलियम, फिर फोर्ट विलियम टू सराउंड इट्स फैक्ट्री near to the Calcutta. And this generation of ruler under the Aurangzeb, Nawab Mughal principality, shortly after the death of the Aurangzeb, such Nawab of the Bengal, Murshid, फिर जब औरंगजेब की डेथ हुई तो उसके बाद कुली खां आए और अलीवर्दी खां आए, स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड एक्सीडेड स्ट्रिक्ट सुपरविजन और द इंग्लिश. और उन्होंने क्या किया कि बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रिक्ट सुपरविजन किया इंग्लिश के ऊपर. दे डिड नॉट अलाउ द ब्रिटिश टू बिल्ड फोर्टिफिकेशन. ठीक है, their foothold only in the southern India, and neither Mughal nor any other central authority was present. So काफ़ी मतलब इन्होंने ब्रिटिशर्स के ऊपर अकाउंटेबिलिटी लगाने की कोशिश की कि फोर्टिफिकेशन भी किया जाएगा, बट फिर भी इनका जो एरिया था वो साउथ तक ही था, इसलिए ये ज़्यादा उन पर कवर कर नहीं पाए ब्रिटिशर्स को. द ब्रिटिश ऑल्सो फेस द कॉम्पिटिशन एंड कॉन्फ्लिक्ट फ्रॉम अदर यूरोपियन पावर लाइक डच या फ्रेंच थे. पोर्तुगीज़ भी थे और इनको पोजीशन चाहिए था गोवा दमन एंड दीव में, जो कि पोर्तुगीज़ की पावर थी ही वहाँ पे, ठीक है। तो इसके बाद क्या हुआ, डच वर ऑलरेडी इंगेज इन द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट विद इंग्लिश। डच का भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा था इंग्लिश के साथ और डच कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कंटिन्यू रहा। देन अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस न्यू एग्रीमेंट, एक न्यू एग्रीमेंट किया गया डचेस के साथ। ये एज ए मतलब स्पाइस आइलैंड जो था इंडोनेशिया, इसको कैप्चर करना चाहते थे। सो दस द पोर्तुगीज एंड द डचेस वर आउट ऑफ द इंडिया बाय दैट एंड फाइनली देयर रिमेन द फ्रेंच एंड द इंग्लिश। अब फाइनली पोर्तुगीज एंड डच बोथ गॉन फ्रॉम द इंडिया and there's only two powers remain. That first was the French and second was the English power. Okay, so the French, see, the French remain the sole adversary to the English. Now there is only two powers, one is French and one is English. So the French is only adversary to the English and land after the Portuguese and the Dutches. South India remained the theatre of the French and as a presented most favorable condition. East India was under the Alivardi Khan and held strict control over the activity of the British. So here was the Alivardi Khan, he was strict control over the East India. West India was held closely with the Maratha and Shivaji. In fact, Maratha extracted Choth from southern India. Moreover, Asaf Jan won एंड निजामुल मुल्क ऑफ हैदराबाद जो था, ही वॉज हैदराबाद वल्नरेबल इंटरनली, वहाँ पे काफ़ी वल्नरेबल, देयर वाज लॉट्स ऑफ वल्नरेबल कैलामिटीज़ एंड सिचुएशंस इन द हैदराबाद. सो देयर वाज ए रूलर नेम इज़ आसफ जा. आसफ जा वॉज इन द Hyderabad. Okay, now after 20 years of the French and English rivalry, so it was 1744 and 1763. Okay, so the French East India Company established in 16 and 64. They had occupied some island of the East Ocean like Mauritius, Reunion Island. Okay, among these factory Pondicherry and the Chandamangor. Pondicherry and Chandamangor, ये two factories was captured by the France. The British and French East India Company was clashed whenever broke out the England and France broke out for these clashes. First Anglo-French War, it was extension of the Anglo-French War of the Europe. So it was the extension of the war in the Europe. Okay, and the war was memorable for the Battle of the Saint Thome between the French and the Nawab Anwar al-Din. So it was Saint Thome and Anwaruddin. Anwaruddin was also here. Anwaruddin. Okay, Anwaruddin and Saint Thome. So this was we can say it's a first Karnataka war, and over the custody of the Madras, here a small French trained the army defeated the large Indian army, designed a European for the Indian conquest. Now this was finished. Now second Anglo-French war, it was Dupleix. Dupleix formulated the strategy of taking the side in the internal feud between India and the princes. This would help him gain their trust, and the instability in the Hyderabad and Karnataka has pushed the state, and this provided a Dupleix opportunity to carry the plan and account of what considered in this state. So Karnataka and the Kannada Sahib was the conspiring against the Nawab Anwaruddin. So there was a Chanda Sahib in the Carnatic, and he was doing conspiracy against the Anwaruddin. Okay, and Hyderabad Nizam ul Mulk, he was just Asaf Shah, we can say. Death of the Asaf Shah in 1748 led to the scramble for the power between Nasir Jung and the Muzaffar Jung. So there was a two powers, Nasir Jung and Muzaffar Jung, and there is a two power in the Madras, that was the Chanda Sahib and Anwaruddin. So the fighting was between the Mughals and the Britishers, that was running. In that case, French Governor General Dupleix wanted to capture that area. Okay, and this instability in the Hyderabad and the Karnataka had pushed both the state into chaos and provided Dupleix the opportunity. Now Dupleix got the opportunity to plan to capture these two areas. Okay, now French allied with the both Chanda Sahib and the Muzaffar Jung. So French was supporting Chanda Sahib and Muzaffar Jung. Okay, and the three combined their forces took enemy together, and both the Anwaruddin Nasir Jung were subsequently defeated and killed. So Nasiruddin and Anwaruddin, this was killed. This success proved to be the benefit for the French, and they got territory surrounding the Pondicherry and the town of Masulipatnam. Okay, new Nizam in addition to the duplex getting the Jagirs. Now there is a Masulipatam area and they just captured that area, and after that Nizam in addition to the duplex getting the Jagir, and duplex wanted to get that Jagirs also. Okay, the new Nizam Muzaffar Jung was accidentally killed, and now Muzaffar Jung is also killed, and while marching back to the capital, which led to the immediate response from duplex, and he handed the odd situations to the Salabat Jung. Now the son of the Nizam Muzaffar Jung, his son is Salabat Jung. Now the king is Salabat Jung. Okay, and this the French were rewarded with the additional area of the northern Sarkar. So now French also came in the northern Sarkar. To keep the influence, Hyderabad duplex posted Albest officer. So there was a Albest as a officer, Bussy. So Bussy was now officer with some French army. This was done ostensibly to protect Nizam from the aggression. So they wanted to protect the Nizam from their aggression. Okay, so the British had backed both Nasir Jung एंड मोहम्मद अली. सो ब्रिटिश ने क्या किया कि नासिर जंग एंड मोहम्मद अली को वो सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, नासिर जंग एंड मोहम्मद अली. ओके, सो यहाँ पर सॉरी फ्रेंच इनको सपोर्ट कर रहे थे, नासिर जंग एंड मोहम्मद अली को. एंड अभी ये ब्रिटिश भी बैक कर रहा है दोनों को, नासिर जंग इन हैदराबाद एंड मोहम्मद अली दैट वाज सन ऑफ द नवाब अनवरुद्दीन का जो बेटा था. बाय 70-50 नासिर जंग डाइड. अब ये नासिर जंग जो है ये 70-50 में डाइड हो गया. ठीक है, इन बैटल अगेंस्ट द फ्रेंच अलाइज विद मोहम्मद अली. एंड त्रिचिनोपल्ली एक जगह है, त्रिचिनोपल्ली. सो दिस त्रिचिनोपल्ली आफ्टर द डिफीट of his father, Anwaruddin was with the Britishers and his father was died. That's why now the Nasir Jang is also defeated. And amidst this struggle, Robert Clive. Now Clive was proposed to attack the Arcot. Arcot is a area near the capital of the Carnatic state. It took over only 500 soldiers. Robert Clive to capture the Arcot. Okay, now the French retaliated but suffered defeat. After the defeat, and finally Chanda Sahab was killed, and अब Chanda Sahab भी killed हो गए, and he was supported by the French. The French power was declined and they initiated for negotiating settlement. Now French wanted that we want settlement. The expenses of the war and the possible loss of the colony of the America made. Okay, and the French was unable to afford the last ditch efforts, and they came to the settlement in 1754. So Dupleix now English recall the Dupleix and from India, and his proved that French aspiration in India. Now the third Anglo-French was in the 1756. This was due to the outbreak of the 7-year war between the French and England. Okay, so it was a 7-year war. And this is the third battle of the Indo and French. Okay, so here enormous wealth of the Bengal had made the English more powerful. Now British got their power in the Bengal, and there is enormous wealth. That's why final war was the Vandy Wash. Name is Vandy Wash. Okay, so this was known as the Third Karnataka War, and it was 1753 to 1763. And they spread beyond the southern India to the Bengal, and where the French factory was in the Chandan Nagore. And under the colonial Clive, that was the Battle of Plassey in the 1757. Okay, so the time of the Battle of Plassey. Now Battle of Vandy Wash was in 1760, and leadership of the English, there was a Ayercourt is against the French. So French General Lally and the Ayercourt was in the French, and English was the leadership of English was the Ayercourt, and against the French that was the Lally, and Lally was from the French. Okay, this was a decision win for the English, and मतलब यहाँ पे decisive win हो गई थी किसकी, इंग्लिश की. This is a decisive win of the English, and they signed a treaty of the Paris 1763, according to which their factory of the Chandranagar was given back along with the Pondicherry, and were to remain limited. Okay, under the protection of British. Now shortcomings with the French, reason of the French defeat. Why French were defeated? First is the nature of the French East India Company. It was controlled by the French government, and there was a efficiency, corruption, instability. And English East India Company was a private company, and there was a board of directors. So English company was more safeguarding. And recall of the duplex, like they recalled the duplex and following second French World War. The French were engaged the continental warfare and they were neglected their overseas colonial occupation. द फ्रेंच वर शॉर्ट फाइनेंस, उनके पास फाइनेंस नहीं था वारफेयर के लिए, उनके पास दे डोंट हैव द नेवी एंड ऑल दिस ऑल कॉलोनियल ऑक्यूपेशन. फ्रेंच वर शॉर्ट फाइनेंस एंड इंग्लिश हैड द वेल्थ ऑफ बंगाल. So the English not only excelled the French in 20 years, they excelled the French in the 20 year, they expelled the French in the 20 year, but also learned the valuable lesson which helped the subjugate the Indian subcontinent. So notable learning क्या है? Learning is the absence of pan-India nationalism. There was no nationalism in the French East India Company. Superior European warfare techniques and the potential of the Indian soldiers. Okay, so now next one is the Royal Farman. Okay, the taking of the over Bengal. How English East India Company taken up the Bengal. So Royal Farman is granted to the company with the favor of like duty free import, the right to grant dastak. So there was a dastak, and this dastak was a permit to let some goods pass through the port authority. The company servants were allowed to carry their private trade but were not allowed to privileges of the Farman. So the Bengal government under the Murshid Quli Khan was loss of the revenue because of the Farman. Moreover, the power to issue dastak was misused by the company, and the Farman was always a source of conflict between the Nawab and the East India Company. To compensate to the losses, the company was compelled to deposit lump sum money. Also, misuse of the dastak was checked by firm hand. Okay, so Alivardi Khan had a strong grip over the activity of the British Bengal. He had kept eye over the rivalries of the French which was being played out in the southern India, and he was also aware of the British and the French took benefits of the internal squabbles. So that's why therefore he was suspicious of the intention never allowed to the Calcutta. Now what is the reason of the Nawab Sirajuddaulah ascend the throne? Now Alivardi Khan and the Qulivardi Khan both were just gone. Now new person, English wanted to capture the Bengal area, that's why they put a Nawab. The name was the Siraj-ul-Daulah. Okay, Dola, and this was the supporter of the Britishers. Okay, so this throne differences, the misuse of the dastak by the company servant, imposition of the heavy duty over the Indian goods, Calcutta and the English, and the English had supported the Rajballabh and the Begum claim, and they wanted Rajballabh and lots of बहुत सारी उपाधियाँ दी जाती है. टाइटल्स वर राजवल्लभ एंड बेगम, दे वॉज क्लेमिंग अबाउट द टाइटल्स. His son Kishan Vallabh was given shelter in the Kasim Bazaar, and his family was in Calcutta. So that was the reasons why East India Company wanted to capture, and why they taken their a token Nawab. The name was Sirajuddaulah. Okay, now next one is the main reason was the beginning of the fortification of Calcutta. Now fortification of Calcutta was the start, anticipation of the round of Anglo-French rivalry. So there was Anglo-French rivalry was also there. The French supported the fortification. French also supported the fortification on the Nawab orders, but English did not. अब English जो है ना, they are very smart people. They don't support the fortification, but French was supporting the fortification of the Nawab. So that was also a reason of the rivalry. Now the acting immediately to secure the interested, the Nawab Sirajuddaulah seized the English factory in Kasim Bazaar. Now Sirajuddaulah, what he did, he seized the factory in the Kasim Bazaar, and he successfully seized the Fort William, and also having that he had successfully expelled the British out of the Bengal. He wanted to expel, and he successfully expelled the British. So Nawab Sirajuddaulah celebrated his easy victory. Now thereafter the British took refuge at the village called Fulta. So Fulta name village is there. So British took the refuge in that area. Near the sea, naval superiority. So they have also naval superiority. Soon the British fleet the reinforcement and dispatch under the Admiral Watson and Colonel Live. Okay, so the British force was Nawab men and the Bajbaj, the near of the Bajbaj, they taken this territory also, and the Treaty of the Alinagar was signed with the Britishers. Now, Treaty of Alinagar, the Nawab agreed to restore the company factory and allowed the fortification of the Calcutta, restored the privileges. The British attached the French and the refitted them. The Battle of the Chandanagar and the loss of the French in the Battle of the Chandanagar was short-tempered Nawab, because the Battle of the Chandanagar, in that Nawab was defeated. That's why he was short-tempered. Now, Battle of Plassey, it was 1757. A conspiracy was already hatched in the leading to the men of Bengal against the Siraj, led by the Mir Jafar, and Mir Jafar was the Mir Bakshi, who was the Alivardi sister of the husband. So Mir Bakshi was the Alivardi sister husband. So the conspiracy was laid against the Siraj, led by the Mir Jafar. Now Sirajuddaulah was doing something against the Britishers, so that's why conspiracy was against the Sirajuddaulah, and now Mir Jafar become the Nawab, Mir Jafar, and he was a Katputli Nawab of the English company. So officer in charge of the Calcutta, Amir Chand, and the Omir Chand was a rich Sikh merchant. Jagat Seth was the biggest banker, and the Khadim Khan, that was commander of the Nawab troops. Omir Chand acted as the intermediary of the Rai Durlab, was another conspirator. They all are conspirators. Mir Jafar was concluded a secret treaty with the English on the 1757. Okay, where the was chosen the successor and the new Nawab, and he was chosen as a new Nawab. Now, Mir Jafar treasury was emptied by the constant demand of the bribe. Now, Britishers was constantly taking the bribe, and the vast coffers of the Bengal were employed by the British to pay for the expenses of Madras and the Bombay presidency. And moreover, the revenue of the Bengal was used to buy goods which was company exported from the India. Okay, so the began the drain of the Indian wealth. Now, this is the drain of wealth. Okay, this is the drain of wealth theory, because the East India Company's officer who were living in India, now they are providing money to them. Because of that, we are going for the because of that we were facing the drain of wealth. And our next thing was the Madras and the Bombay presidency. They was also, their expenses was also fulfilled by the Mir Jafar. Okay. And other than this, the revenue of the Bengal was also used for the buying good for the company. Okay, and in 1760, the Mir Jafar was forced to give the throne to his son-in-law. Okay, and with the Mir Qasim. Now Mir Jafar is also expelled, and now they wanted to put the Mir Qasim in place of the Mir Jafar. Okay. So now with the Jamindari of the district of the Midnapur, Bardhaman and Chittagaon, because there was a Midnapur, Bardhaman and Chittagaon. So these three area they wanted to capture, and 20 lakh worth grant was given to the officials. Okay, so but the English appetite for the favors was insensible, and soon even new Nawab Mir Qasim was fed up with the unending demands, because there was lots of demand from the East India Company. That's why now Mir Qasim is also fed up. So Nawab Mir Qasim was intelligent, strong and efficient person. So he took certain steps to control the situation. Check the misuse of the Farman, check the spread of the corruption and revenue of administration, finance, tried to raise the well-trained army and modern discipline along the European lines. And English did not appreciate the Nawab efforts, and Qasim freed away all merchants, including the Indians, and the paying duty. This abolition of the duty led to the equal treatment for the English and the Indian merchant. So he freed all the Indian merchant also. So there was now equal duties. However, this led to the serious battle between British and not tolerate equal treatment with the Indians. Okay, and subsequently Mir Qasim was defeated in 1763, fled to the Awadh, and with them Nawab of Sirajuddaulah was the Awadh. So restored the Jafar as the Nawab again. Now again Jafar become the Nawab. The Mir Qasim secured support of the Sirajuddaulah and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. So the three formed alliance was with the company, and the combined forces of the three met to the British forces in the Battle of the Buxar. Now there was a Sirajuddaulah, Mir Qasim, and one more person, Shah Alam. So they all met in the Battle of the Buxar against the Britishers. The British troop led the Hector Munro, and there was a Hector Munro, and he was in the British troop, won the battle in spite of tacting army multiple times larger there, and the primary reason for the loss of the Mughal was poor coordination and the mutual hostilities. One thing, there was no cooperation in the Britishers and there was mutual hostilities always. So Shah Alam II had signed the treaty with the Allahabad, and there was a Shah Alam II, he signed the treaty with the Allahabad, and British secured the Diwani rights over the 100 million acre of the land over the Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, and this has hitherto enjoyed the Nawab of the Bengal. Now Nijamat and Diwani, two rights, they got by the Britishers. So Nawab used the discharge of the two functions. Before the Britishers, Nawab were doing two functions. Nijamat means military power and Diwani means revenue collection. Okay, now what the situation happened. So now situation is quite different, and this also secured from the Shah Alam II to form the grant to the Northern Sarkar with British directly got the power. Now revenue power and the Nijamat power, both power got by the Britishers, and the company become the virtual ruler of the Bengal, and revenue powers, decisive military power, and the company also secure for the distinct Kara and Allahabad. Kara and Allahabad was also secured by the company, and the Nawab of the Awadh, Sirajuddaulah, was restored the Awadh, and Nawab had to pay for the same, and force was guaranteed to defend the Nawab against the aggression. So Britishers did something smartness, like British wanted some smart ideas, like they wanted, we will save you. They told the Nawab Sirajuddaulah, we will save you, but before that you just pay us for saving you, for the guarantee of we are defending you. Okay, so this was also a point of aggression. Now treaty in the 1952, that was Maratha had essentially taken over the administration of the Suba of the Mughal Empire and had established their rights to collect the Chauth and Swardesh Mukhi. Okay, this was Maratha was in 1752. They were wanted to do this all things, and northwestern frontier, and there was the Afghan invasion also in that time. That resulted in the 9-year Maratha-Afghan struggle, and which was claimed by both, like Punjab was the area, they were claiming both Maratha and the Afghan, but the Maratha were not able to consolidate the influence of the internal conflicts. There was lots of internal conflict in the Maratha army, that's why they don't win that war. The British took advantage of this battle of Buxar, and important of this direction, it was second most significant battle of Plassey. After Plassey there was a battle of Buxar. In that, Britishers took the power and consolidated the foothold that British had gained after their Plassey. So this was a decisive battle after the Plassey. Now dual administration of the Bengal. So after the decisive win, the East India Company Battle of the Buxar in 1764, company become the Diwan of the Bengal. Now they become the Diwan of the Bengal and directly collected the revenue and nominated the Deputy Subedar. Okay, and Nijamat also. They also responsible for the Nijamat, like judicial power. And Mir Jafar was the succeeded by the Nijamuddaulah, and who was made sign of the agreement with the company. He also signed agreement with the company in 1765. Okay, according to this agreement, administration of Bengal was hand of the Deputy Subedar, and by the arrangement the company had power without any responsibility, while Nawab, matlab company were doing all the powers he was using, like Diwani powers, Nijamat powers, but that there was no responsibility over the company. But Nawab has a lots of responsibilities and he has no powers. So it not only had military power and the revenue power in the Britishers, but also the judicial and police powers. And this was the apparatus of the dual administration in the Bengal, and which is with the East India Company. The company purchased goods to the exported from India from the revenue Bengal. In addition, the company was asked to pay this euro, 4 lakh euro, to British government, and nearly 5.7 million euro drained from the Bengal in 1766, 67 and 68. Bengal was struck with the several famines, like there was a several famine in the Bengal, and the British policy was suffering of the people, that was suffering for the people. As a result, almost 1/3 of the population was wiped out. Okay, this was the reason in that time. Now next one is Governor General of the colonial policy. Now first was the Warren Hastings. So passing the Regulating Act, passing the Pitt's India Act and Rohilla War in 1774. Now first Maratha War, that was 1775 to 1782, and Treaty of Salbai, that was in 1782. Now second Mysore War, that was 1780 to 84. Okay, Warren Hastings was become the Governor General, and due to the Regulating Act he was made the Governor General of Bengal and responsible for supervision control over the Bombay, Bengal and the Madras. Now Regulating Act, why this came? The aim was improving the administration of the company. The company was reeling under the financial distress. That's why 1768 they unable to pay the 4 million euro to the British government. So maintaining the monopoly over the Indian trade, the tea sale to the America had dropped, and 85% of the tea in the America was being smuggled by the Dutch. It was under the debt, and the Bank of the England and Bank of there was lots of debt over the England. So now what they did, they wanted to just capture the trade policy of the India. So that's why they started the Regulating Act. System of the dual administration over the Bengal was abolished. The act limited the company dividend 6% and repaid 1.5 million loan. It restricted the court of director to only 4-year term. So court of director is now 4-year term. Prohibited the servant of the company from engaging in the private trade and accepting any bribe. Okay, and they elevated the governor of the Bengal as a Warren Hastings, and now he will just control over the Bombay, Madras and the Bengal. The act named 4 additional men to serve as a Governor General Council, and this council was commonly known as the Council of the Four. Okay, Council of the Four. Now Supreme Court was established in the Fort William, Calcutta, and British judge was sent to the India for the administration of the British legal system. So Warren Hastings was fought war for the Maratha and the Mysore. Hastings adopted the policy of the ring fence, and that was this policy was aimed. So Hastings was following the policy of the ring fence. Okay, policy of the ring fence, and this the Maratha and the Afghan invader were major threat of the company. Okay, so this challenge, but it wasn't large and powerful enough. By the policy, company safeguarding itself by organizing the defense of the Awadh. Now what the Britishers wanted to do, they wanted to capture the Maratha, they wanted to capture the Afghan and also the Awadh. Okay, after the Regulating Act, and the policy of the ring fence they started with the Warren Hastings. So the British wanted to connect their territory of the Bengal with the Madras in between Northern Sarkar, and French who got its reward for the installing Salbat Jung as a Nizam. Salbat Jung was in the Nizam of the Hyderabad. So the French were out with the British military supported in 1758, but the Nizam did not give the territory to the British. Okay, so Nizam don't wanted to give the territory to the British. He was Salbat Jung, and he wanted to be gripped with the France. In August 1765, Clive got the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. Now there was a Clive, and Clive got the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II in the Battle of Buxar. Now in Battle of Buxar, Britishers got the decisive win, and in that situation, following this, Nizam signed the treaty with the Britishers, and as per this treaty, British would get the Northern Sarkar and 7 lakh rupees in the military support in the Nizam in the endeavour. The Nizam was involved in the alliance and Maratha against the Mysore, as they both feared the expansionist treaty posed by the Hyder Ali. Even the state of Karnataka was suspicious for the Mysore, and the Nawab of Karnataka, Muhammad Ali, and accused Mysore of giving the refusee to his opponent. The Nawab of the Karnataka thus aligned with the Britishers, who were surrounded by the state. This led to the first Anglo-Mysore War. Okay, so there was a first Anglo-Mysore war. It was between the Maratha and the Nizam. Okay, Maratha and the Nizam, and they like the Nawab of Karnataka, Muhammad Ali Khan, accused the Mysore of giving refuge to his opponent. So the Nawab of Karnataka just allied with the British. So Karnataka का जो नवाब था, he was allied with the British, who were surrounded by the state, and they led the first Anglo-Mysore war. The war was the Mysore began in 1767, and the Maratha attack in the anticipation of the Nizam offensive Mysore. So they invaded northern Mysore, and after receiving payment of 30 lakh by the time Maratha withdrew, the Nizam attacked Mysore with help of the English. Now Nizam and English both become the friends, and now they are going to attacking the Marathas. Okay, so when the English came to know the Hyder Ali and the Nizam were negotiating for the peace, they withdrew their troops. So now Hyder Ali was in the Mysore. So Hyder Ali and Nizam, they both were negotiating in this treaty. So now Hyder Ali charged the retreating English and crushing defeat on them. Hyder Ali reached at the Madras, and 1769 there was a treaty of Madras. In 1769 there was a treaty of Madras with him to avoid the losses and letter of the British carrying out their treaty with second Anglo-Mysore war. It was in 1769. Okay, now second Anglo-Mysore war took place. Anglo-Mysore war, so that was took place 1780 to 1784, and Mysore was alliance with the Maratha and the Nizam, and Mysore even captured the Arcot. So Arcot was also captured, and Hyder Ali died, and battle was in 1782, legacy of the Tipu Sultan. So Tipu Sultan continued the war, and after he signed the treaty of the Mangaluru in the 1784, and all this treaty was taken the party to restore. Now next was the Anglo-Maratha war. Okay, so the struggle of the power among the Maratha and the British East India Company. Okay, so there was a Peshwa of the Madhav Rao, and he was supported by the Nana Fadmanis, and ex-Peshwa of the Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao was supported by the British. So the Madhav Rao, he was supported by the Nana Fadnavis. Okay, Fadnavis, and the ex-Peshwa of the Raghunath Rao, he was supported by the British. So Raghunath Rao was supported by the Britishers, and Madhav Rao was supported by the Nana Fadnavis. And Raghunath Rao was aggrieved because of his throne of the Peshwa. Thus he went to take help from the Britishers, who used the opportunity to wage the war. And now the British merchant from the Calcutta through central India to Ahmedabad. Okay, as per the treaty, the status quo was maintained, and treaty of the Salbai was done in 1782. Okay, that was British did treaty with the Maratha. Okay, so now British will help to the Maratha to resolve these all issues. So as per the treaty, status quo was maintained, and the British recovered their lost territory from the Hyder Ali, and by making the Maratha pressure over the Mysore. This was an intelligent move, as a most dreaded state of the Mysore was isolated, and this turned the tide in the favor of the British in third Anglo-Mysore war. Now in third Anglo-Mysore war, the British was favoring the Britishers. Okay. So next was the Pitt's India Act. Pitt's India Act, this act was intended to address the shortcomings of the regulating act. So the governor board was constituted with the 6 members, 2 of whom were a member of the British cabinets, and the board also had a president who soon effectively became the minister for the affairs of the East India Company. The act stated that the board would be the superintend, direct and control the government, and in effect controlling the act, the operating civil and the military matters and the revenue of the company. Okay, now governing council of the company was reduced in the 3 members, and crown को appoint किया गया, and authorizing the veto of the majority decision. The governor of the Bombay and Madras were also deprived of their independence, and governor general was given the greater power over the revenue, diplomacy and war. The supplementary act was in 1786. That was Lord Cornwallis was appointed as the second Governor General of Bengal. Before that it was Hastings. Now it is Lord Cornwallis become the Governor General. Effective ruling of the British East India Company and Board of Control and Court of Directors. So the constitution set up the Pitt's India Act did not undergo any major changes, but company rule over the India. 15. Now end of the company rule over the India, that was in 1858 after the 1857 war. So there was a Rohilla war, and this Rohilla war in 1774, it's a punitive campaign by the Sujauddollah Nawab and against the Rohilla Afghan settled the Rohilkhand. So the Nawab was supported by the troops of the British East India Company, and he succeeded the campaign brought about the Rohilla. Now this was all Rohilla war. Now next is Asiatic Society of the Bengal. So this was in 1784, and Sir William Jones was established this and enhanced the further course of the Oriental research. Notably early member was the Charles Wilkins and the Hamilton. So Wilkins and the Hamilton, this was the early member of this 1784 and 1828. The European Elected Member Society. Now there was the 18 James Prinsep, and that was secretary of the society, and he is deciphered the Brahmi Lipi, and would be event of the revolutionize the future Oriental study. And the society extended helping paving the way for Indian classical Sanskrit languages and English translation of the Sanskrit language of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Some of the famous contribution of the Asiatic Society during this were Indo-European languages and the culture to diversify this culture. Okay, so ये थोड़ा clear नहीं आ रहा है. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita, Hitopadesh and Charles Wilkins, it was by the Charles Wilkins. The Kalidasa, Abhigyam Shakuntalam and the Jayadev Gita Govindam and Manu Samhita, editing by the Ritu Samhita, William Jones, and digest Hindu law of the succession Sanskrit lexicons, and Kalidasa Meghaduta and translation of the 18 principal Purana into the English, and Kalhan Rashtarangini select the specimen of this theatre in Hindu, and Wilson also translated the French and German. Okay, so Yoga, that was Vashishta by the John Shore, and Alexander D. Koros, grammar of the Tibetan language. Lord Cornwallis, it was 1786 to 1793. Third Anglo-Mysore War, that was 1902 and 90. So Srirangapatnam, Treaty of the Srirangapatnam, that was under the Lord Cornwallis. Okay, the permanent settlement in the Bengal 1793. Adoption of the Cornwallis Code, that was in 1793. Introduction of the civil services. In the Cornwallis introduced the civil service and Cornwallis Code. Settlement of the Bengal and several judicial reform he did. Okay, so what Cornwallis did? The permanent settlement, adoption of Cornwallis Code, introduction of the civil service and Europeanization of the services. Third Anglo-Mysore War, it was growing power of the Tipu Sultan and Alam the Maratha and the Nizam who engaged with the alliance against the Mysore. So however both the states were defeated, but this defeat led them to take help of the British leading Third Anglo-Mysore War. The war ended the Treaty of the Srirangapatnam, that was in 1792. It laid the loss of the Tipu and had to surrender. Now next is the permanent settlement. It was 1793. Cornwallis' greatest achievement in India for the recognition of the taxation known the permanent settlement. So reorganization of the tax system, that was the permanent settlement, and this was done by the Cornwallis. Okay, so this was the large number of the small farmer who paid the rent for the group of Jamidar. So that's why under the Mughal, the governor had collected the taxes, and East India Company set aside the Jamidars and collect the land taxes either by the company officials or through the revenue farmers who collected the rent from the peasants and paid to the lump sum of the government. So Cornwallis decided to go back to the old Mughal system, and he granted legal ownership of the land, and in return they had to pay the government 90% of the rent. Okay, now the immediate effect of the permanent settlement was not good, but in 1769 Bengal had been devastating by the terrible famine, and a large number of the rural people died, okay, in the Bengal, and the starvation was also there. As a result, Jamidar found it difficult to collect the rent, and many of the Jamidar were unable to pay the taxes. And in this, when the population began to increase, and the Jamidar again become a prosperous. Okay, the Cornwallis Code. Cornwallis cause was separation of the judicial power to the revenue power. European subjects were brought under the jurisdiction. Government servants were made accountable to the civil courts and official capacity. The principle of rule of law was emphasizing in that. So he organized a regular police force. इसने क्या किया था कॉर्नवालिस ने? He organized a regular police force, modernization of the police, thanas and circles, superintendent of the police, and he relieved the jamidars of their collecting the duty. The service were Europeanized upper cadre, and the member were regularly paid the standard of integrity, and divided the 23 district. A new police force were maintained and the law and order. So this kind of the reforms done by the Cornwallis. So judges administered the law, collector were responsible for the revenue collection. He worked mainly through the local Mughals and was collected traditional lines. The old Muslim governing class in the Hindu Jamidar, a new class of money down acting as a go between the new rulers. So there was a money men arose in the towns, and Cornwallis was the first governor general to bring an organized civil service. He raised the salary of the company servant. He strictly enforced the rules against the private trades. He prohibited the civil servant from the taking presents and the gifts, and he enforced the criteria of the seniority to the promote the employees in the company. So he wanted a seniority as a criteria. He raised the company salary. He strictly enforced the rules against the private trade, and he prohibited civil servant to taking the present and the gifts. Okay. Now after the Cornwallis, there was a ruler. His name was John Shore. He was from 1793 to 1798. So Charter Act 1793 and the Battle of the Kharda. Battle of the Kharda, निजाम and मराठा के बीच में हुआ था. That was 1795. Okay. Now Charter Act 1793, it act made the payment of the home government member to the mandatory made out from the India. It was a subject of the several criticism, but nationalists who accused of the British of the draining the wealth of the India to pay the pension and the salary of the British officer who lived in the England. So Charter Act was the against the drain of wealth. Okay. Now Battle of Kharda. So it was between Nizam Peshwa, and Nizam badly defeated, and Governor General of John Shore followed the policy of the non-intervention, and this laid loss of the trust with the British. This was the last battle between the Maratha. Now next one, the Lord Wellesley. So Lord Wellesley, during this Lord Wellesley, there was a subsidiary alliance in 1799, and fourth Mysore War, that was in 1799, Treaty of the Bassein 1802, and the second Anglo-Maratha War, and taking over the administration of the Tanjore and Surat. So subsidiary alliance में क्या होता था? By the 18th century, like Maratha Empire had weakened. Maratha Empire क्या हो गया था? Weak हो गया था. Indian subcontinent and India was left with a great number of the state, most of them small and weak. Many rulers accepted the offer of the protection of the Lord Wellesley and gave the security against the attack by the neighbors. So इसमें होता क्या था? Indian ruler entering into the subsidiary alliance with the British accept the British forces within the territory and also agreed to pay their maintenance. The ruler accepted the British residents. The ruler was not to enter into any further alliance with any other power, and against the war, the power without the permission of the British. They will never declare any war without the permission of the British. The ruler was not to employ any European other than British, and already doing so. Okay, in case of the conflict with any of the state, the ruler agreed upon the resolution with the British. The ruler acknowledges the company as a permanent power, and in return company undertook to protect the state from the external danger. So company will help them against the external danger and the internal disorder. In the Indian ruler, they failed to pay the payment, and that's why the part of the territory was captured by the Britishers. Under this doctrine, Indian ruler under the British protection surrendered and controlled by the foreign affairs of the Britishers. Most of the disbanded their native armies and maintaining British troops within their state to protect them from the attack. So British powers was the most grew most of the part, and increasingly unlikely that like it's become increasingly unlikely that any other power would attack other than British themselves. Okay, so this was the subsidiary alliance. Now what is about the second Anglo-Mysore war? So it was in 1799. Tipu Sultan was in this war. Tipu Sultan got death in the battlefield and Mysore was decisively defeated. And the successor of the Wadeyar family made a signed subsidiary alliance, making the Mysore dependency over the East India Company. Now next was second Anglo-Maratha war. It was 1803 to 1805. The Wellesley aggressive policy, and he just imposed the subsidiary alliance over the Maratha. By the end of the 18th century, Bajirao II Peshwa fled to the Bassein due to the internal fractures, and eyeing an opportunity, the British made him sign with the Treaty of the Bassein in 1802. By the treaty, subsidiary British force would be posted in the Peshwa territory. Due to the treaty, the office of the Peshwa was restored. Bajirao II under the protection of British troops under the General Arthur Wellesley. Okay, the British wanted to join their territory of the Bengal and Madras, and they also wanted to end the influence of the French adventurers, and they also they formed the conflict, and therefore second Anglo-Maratha war in the 1803, and the combined forces of the Bhosle Scindia were defeated, and now Wellesley command was there. Now there was even Holkar were also involved in this, and Lord Lake was inquiry against this charge of corruption. So Lord Lake was seeing the charge of the corruption. Wellesley has resigned. Wellesley ने सडनली रिज़ाइन कर लिया था, एंड यहाँ पर होल्कर्स भी आ चुके थे वार के अंदर, बट यहाँ पे लॉर्ड लेक आ चुके थे उसके बाद. देन दिस वॉज एस्टेब्लिश द इंग्लिश कंट्रोल ओवर द मराठा. नाउ नेक्स्ट वन इज़ द सर जॉर्ज बार्लो, एंड इट वॉज द वेल्लोर म्यूटिनी हुई थी. तो वेल्लोर म्यूटिनी हुई थी बार्लो के समय में, ठीक है. तो वेल्लोर म्यूटिनी, एंड दैट वॉज इन 1806, and this violent mutiny by the Indian Sepoy against the East India Company, and this rebellion हुआ था 1857 में. इससे पहले हुई थी वेल्लोर म्यूटिनी. ओके, एंड यहाँ पे कौन थे? जनरल बार्लो, जॉर्ज बार्लो. ओके, towards the change in the Sepoy dress code, and this was the Hindu were prohibited from the wearing the religious marks on their forehead. Muslim were required to shave their beards and trim their mustache. In addition to the Sepoy were ordered to wear the heads associated at the time of the birth. Like इसमें क्या हुआ था कि ब्रिटिशर्स ने हिंदू और मुस्लिम की जो रिलीजियस स्लोगन्स होते हैं उनको परेशान करना है. मतलब जो रिलीजियंस जो कोड ड्रेस कोड होता है या फिर कोई रिलीजियस मार्क्स होते हैं, so they don't allowed them to use that kind of marks. So even though these apparently minor changes were intended to improve the solidarity appearances of the men, but the measure for Hindu Muslim Sepoy जो थे, they were often offended because of this, and some Sepoy who protested new rules were sent to the Fort St. George, and them 90 each dismissed from the army, and they dismissed from the army. And there was some parallel between the Vellore mutiny in 1857. Okay, so there was a Bahadur Shah, you can see in this area. Okay, now next is Lord Minto. So Lord Minto के टाइम में क्या हुआ था? It was 1807 to 1813. So अमृतसर की ट्रीटी हुई थी रंजीत सिंह के साथ. So अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग द ब्रिटिश स्ट्रेंथ who had recently won the second एंग्लो मराठा वार, एंड वो लोग मतलब अब हुआ क्या था कि उन्होंने अंडर एस्टिमेट कर लिया ब्रिटिशर्स को. अभी ब्रिटिशर्स ने क्या किया? एंग्लो मराठा वार को जीत लिया. महाराजा रंजीत सिंह जो था वो पंजाब में था, ठीक है, मालवा में, और उसने ऐसा मतलब अंडर एस्टिमेट किया ब्रिटिशर्स को. द ब्रिटिशर अटैक द सिंह फोर्स ऑफ द रियलाइजिंग द मिलिट्री वीकनेसेस, एंड इन्होंने फिर क्या किया? ट्रीटी ऑफ अमृतसर किया. द टर्म वॉज ट्रीटी प्रिवेंटेड सिंह फ्रॉम एनी फर्दर टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन. अब क्या करेगा सिंह? कोई एक्सपेंशन नहीं कर पाएगा सतलज के एरिया के आसपास. हाउएवर द ट्रीटी ऑल्सो परमिटेड टू कंप्लीट फ्रीडम ऑफ द एक्शन नॉर्थ तक जा सकता है. दिस enabled him to extract tribute from less powerful and including Jat Sikhs, and ultimately to gain the control over the Peshawar and the Kashmir, और पेशावर और कश्मीर तक भी ये जा सकता है. So this was about the subjugating the power of the Ranjit Singh. Okay, so it was a treaty of Amritsar with the Ranjit Singh in 1809. Now Lord Hastings आया था. Lord Hastings के टाइम में हुआ था एंग्लो नेपाल वार, and including the treaty of the Sagoli. Okay, so Anglo Maratha war was in 1817, and war against the Pindaris leading to the defeat of the Maratha. Now creation of the Bombay as a presidency, and adoption of the Rayotwadi system, that was in 1820. Thomas Munro is the governor of the Madras. Okay, so Rayotwadi में कौन था? Thomas Munro था. Now गोरखा was नेपालीज वार हुआ था. It was in 18 गोरखा थे यहाँ पे नेपाल में, and they ill prepared against the East India Company. So the empire of the Prithvi Narayan Singh and his descendant built came to the known as the Nepal, Prithvi Narayan. An invasion of the wealthy Kathmandu Valley provided the Gorkha army with the economical support, furthering the martial ambitions. And so यहाँ पर सारा martial ambitions चल रहा है इनका. So this was okay. ये इतना पढ़ना नहीं है हमको, हमें बस इतना पता होना चाहिए कि जो तराई एरिया था यहाँ पे इन लोगों ने, मतलब ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ने यहाँ पर भी ट्रीटी ऑफ सागोली की थी इनके साथ, ट्रीटी ऑफ सगोली, एंड दैट वाज इन 18 and 16 नेपाल के साथ की गई थी. ठीक है, नेपाल लॉस्ट द सिक्किम, नेपाल ने सिक्किम को भी लॉस्ट कर दिया, दार्जिलिंग एरिया को भी लॉस्ट कर दिया, कुमायूं गढ़वाल एरिया भी गया इनका, तराई एरिया पूरा ही गया. एंड द मेची रिवर जो थी दैट वाज अ न्यू ईस्टर्न बॉर्डर ऑफ द महाकाली रिवर in the western kingdom of Kathmandu. The Terai region was proved difficult for the British to govern, and now the Lord Hastings had given the plan to dismember of the Nepal and fear of the antagonizing China. So ये नेपाल वाला जो एरिया है ये सारा कैप्चर कर लिया गया. फिर थर्ड एंग्लो मराठा वार आया था. थर्ड एंग्लो मराठा वार आया था 1817 से 90 में. इसमें क्या हुआ था कि ब्रिटिश हैड बीन विक्टोरियस इन द सेकेंड मराठा वार. 1803 जो था यहाँ पे ब्रिटिश विक्टोरियस हो चुके थे. ठीक है, द ब्रिटिश हैड अरेंजमेंट विद द गायकवाड़ डायनेस्टी एंड द मराठा प्रोविंसेस ऑफ द बड़ौदा टू प्रिवेंट द पेशवा फ्रॉम द कलेक्टिंग रिवेन्यू. वो पेशवा को मतलब प्रिवेंट करना चाहते थे कि यू जस्ट डोंट गो टू द कलेक्ट द रिवेन्यू. Gaikwad sent to the envoy of the Peshwa Pune to negotiate dispute regarding the revenue collection, and under the British protection was murdered by the Peshwa minister. Ministers का मर्डर कर दिया गया. The British ने क्या किया, पेशवा के साथ ट्रीटी कर ली. The Treaty of the Pune, इसको कहते हैं Treaty of the Pune in the 1817. एंड की टर्म्स क्या थे कि पेशवा इंक्लूडेड द एडमिशन ऑफ द पेशवा मिनिस्ट्री गिल्ट इन द मर्डर एंड रिनाउंसिंग द पेशवा क्लेम्स ऑन द बड़ौदा and surrendered the significant swath of the territory of the British. This included the Peshwa as the most important stronghold over the Deccan, but the Peshwa was also not to communicate with the other powers. ये मतलब वो सब्सिडरी अलायंस जैसी पावर ट्रीटी ऑफ द पुणे कर दी गई. ब्रिटिश रेसिडेंट्स ऑल्सो आज द पेशवा टू डिसबैंड हिज कावलरी. ओके, इसकी कावलरी को भी डिसबैंड कर दिया गया. नाउ पेशवा डिसबैंडेड हिज कावलरी and Peshwa and the secretary troops were recruited for the impending war. Many ये सारी अलाइंस हो गई यहाँ पर. ठीक है, यहाँ पर फिर उन्होंने बहुत सारी अलाइंस और की नागपुर के साथ. जैसे पेशवा पुणे में थे, होलकर इंदौर में थे, शिंदिया जो थे ग्वालियर में थे, भोसले नागपुर में थे, और टोंक इन राजपूताना. सो पिंडारी लोकेटेड नॉर्थ टू द नर्मदा वैली एंड मालवा रीजन में पिंडारी रहते थे, जिनको शिंदिया और होलकर सपोर्ट करते रहते थे. ठीक है, दिस वाज द एरिया एंड इन दैट अब ब्रिटिशर्स का पूरा पावर चलने लग गया. वार अगेंस्ट द पिंडारी. पिंडारीज का जो वार होता था, सो पिंडारी क्या होते थे, ये डिफरेंट टाइप्स के लोग होते हैं. ये दे आर द ट्राइब्स, दे आर द ट्राइबल पीपल. इन 18th century मुगल एम्पायर वॉज ब्रेकिंग अप, loosely organized under the self-chosen leader, and such group was usually attached to the one or other Maratha leader, and their main characteristics was receiving no pay and but rather purchasing the privileges of plundering of their own account. Plundering करते थे. So Shinde and Holkar had lost many of their territory because of the Pindari. In Anglo Maratha war में भी वो lost कर ही चुके हैं. दे एनकरेज द पिंडारी टू रेड द ब्रिटिश टेरिटरी. अब उन्होंने क्या स्मार्टनेस दिखाई कि उन्होंने पिंडारी को रेस करना स्टार्ट कर दिया अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश टेरिटरी. पिंडारी who were mostly cavalry came to be known as the शिंदे शाही and the Holkar Shahi after the patronage they received from the respective defeated Maratha leader. And Pindari succumbed to Lord Hastings' assault. From the British perspective, the Anglo-Maratha war began and against the Pindari, and seeing that British were in conflict with the Pindari, so the Peshwa forces attacked over the British on the Pune, and the British infantry advanced steadily, causing the Maratha cavalry to retreat 4 horse, and the British soon claimed victory. यहाँ पे ब्रिटिश की विक्ट्री हो गई. द पेशवाशिप वॉज अबोलिश्ड, अब इन्होंने क्या किया, पेशवाशिप को अबोलिश कर दिया। नेगोशिएटेड द एनुअल मेंटेनेंस, अब वो एनुअल मेंटेनेंस भी देंगे ब्रिटिश को, एंड वो फेवर करेंगे जागीरदार्स को, हिज फैमिलीज़ को, ब्राह्मण्स को। द पेशवा वॉज सेंड टू द बिट्ठूर, अब पेशवा को तो बिट्ठूर भेज दिया इन्होंने कानपुर में। एंड द डाउनफॉल ऑफ द बैनिशमेंट ऑफ द पेशवा वॉज ऑल ओवर द मराठा एम्पायर वॉज ए नेशनल डिफीट। Now Scindia was forced to sign a treaty of Gwalior. Okay, so there was a treaty of Gwalior, and that was signed with the Scindia. Okay, that was signed with the Scindia. And Bhosle was forced to surrender a treaty of the 1880. Bhosle ruled over the nominal territory with the several restrictions, including the fort controlled by the British. Holkar was offered the term similar to those of the Scindia, and Holkar accepted the respected independence of the Amir Khan. Holkar responded the Peshwa call for the insurrection. Now at the end of this war, the Maratha power had surrendered in the British Shinde, and now there was a diplomacy and the pressure, which is the Treaty of the Gwalior की गई थी with the Maratha in the 1879. ठीक है, ये सारी डिप्लोमेटिक ट्रिटीज़ हो रही हैं। तो पहले कौन सी ट्रिटी हुई थी, ट्रिटी ऑफ द ग्वालियर, इट वॉज विद द शिंदिया। नाउ देयर इज़ अ ट्रिटी ऑफ द ग्वालियर विद द शिंदिया करी दी थी इन्होंने, और ट्रिटी ऑफ द पुणे की थी पहले होलकर्स के साथ में। ठीक है, और यहाँ पर ये देखो ट्रिटी ऑफ ब्रिटिश पिंडारीज के साथ भी इनकी ट्रिटी चल रही थी। मतलब पिंडारीज तो एक लुटेरे टाइप के लोग हो, दे वांटेड टू प्लंडर द एरियाज। सो अब मराठा ने पिंडारीज को ब्रिटिश के अगेंस्ट भड़काया था। दैट वाज द सिचुएशन इन दैट टाइम। बॉम्बे प्रेसिडेंसी इन 1818. So the Peshwa territory were absorbed in the Bombay Presidency, and territory seized from the Pindaris become a central province of the British India. A Bombay Presidency was seized from the Pindari. Now it's become the central province of the British India. And the princes of the Rajputana become the symbolic. अब जितने भी राजपूताना के प्रिंसेस है, they all are symbolic and feudal lords. Thus the Lord Hastings redrew the map of the India. अब हेस्टिंग ने क्या किया कि फिर से मैप बनाया इंडिया का, and he remained more or less अनअल्टर्ड अंटिल टाइम ऑफ द लॉर्ड डलहौसी। ओके, डलहौसी के टाइम में इसमें कुछ चेंजेस आए। नाउ रेतवाड़ी सेटलमेंट, दैट वाज मुनरो, मुनरो का नाम ध्यान रखना है। अंडर द रेतवाड़ी सेटलमेंट इट वाज इन 1820, वेदर द लैंड रिवेन्यू वाज इम्पोज डायरेक्टली टू द रेवत। अब क्या कर रेवत डायरेक्टली लैंड रिवेन्यू देंगे। ठीक है, अब बीच में जो जमींदार थे, जागीरदार थे, उनको हटा दिया गया। दिस सिस्टम ऑफ असेसमेंट वाज नॉन द रेतवाड़ी, वेयर द लैंड रिवेन्यू वाज इम्पोज इनडायरेक्टली थ्रू द एग्रीमेंट मेंट विद द जमींदार। दिस असेसमेंट वाज नॉन द जमींदारी। जमींदारी में तो डायरेक्टली मतलब इनडायरेक्टली लैंड रिवेन्यू रेवत को देना होता था, यहाँ पे जमींदार देते थे लैंड रिवेन्यू। बॉम्बे, मद्रास, असम, बर्मा जमींदारी यूजुअली डिड नॉट हैव ए पोजीशन इन द मिडलमैन बिटवीन द गवर्नमेंट एंड द फार्मर। सो द रेतवाड़ी सिस्टम एसोसिएटेड सर थॉमस मुनरो, who appointed the governor of the Madras, and subsequently the Rayatwadi system was extended to the Mumbai area. The Munro gradually reduced the rate of the taxation, and the levy was not based on the actual revenue. So 50% of the gross revenue was demanded from that. Okay, so payment of the land tax in the cash rather than kind was instituted the 18th century. British East India Company wanted to establish the exclusive monopoly over the buyer of the Indian goods. Okay, they wanted a monopoly. So requirement of the cash payment was cultivator exposing him to the demand of the money lender and alternative laws of his land. अब क्या हुआ था कि जो रेत थे इनके यहाँ पे बहुत सी प्रॉब्लम होती थी. दे वॉज लॉसिंग देयर लैंड बिकॉज ऑफ द स्टारवेशन, क्रॉप फेलिंग इज ऑल्सो देयर, सो दे वर नॉट capable to providing the land revenue to the Britishers. So they also asserted that lean years resulted in regional famines. बहुत से famines भी होते थे. As a cultivators could not accumulate capital or invest in the productive development of their land holding. Okay. Now next is Lord Ernest. Ernest का जो period है that was in the Anglo-Burma War. बर्मा वार के टाइम में Ernest थे 1824. Annexation of the भरतपुर का annexation हुआ था. सो एंग्लो बर्मा वार दैट वाज ब्रिटिश विक्ट्री हो गई थी यहाँ पे भी बर्मा में. ठीक है, और यहाँ ट्रिटी ऑफ यादबू की गई थी, ट्रिटी ऑफ यादबू. ओके, एंड दिस इज ऑल्सो ए सब्सिडरी अलायंस काइंड. सीट द ब्रिटिश असम, मणिपुर एंड रखाइन प्लेस सीज ऑल इंटरफेरेंस इन द चाचर एंड जयंतिया pay indemnity of £1 million and allow the exchange of the diplomatic representative between AWAC, sign a commercial treaty, dues and courses. ब्रिटिश आर्मी ने फिर साउथ की ओर मूव किया, ठीक है, और यहाँ पर भी कुछ ट्रीटी की थी और रंगून एरिया की तरफ ये गए. नाउ फाइनली annexation of the Bharatpur. So it was Maharaja Baldev Singh, his brother Ranbir Singh was the leader of the Bharatpur, who died 1823 and no son, कोई सन नहीं था, तो इसका ब्रदर था महाराजा बलदेव सिंह. इसको थ्रोन मिल गया. After his death, the son of the Baldev Singh, youngest brother Durjar Sal and the Madho Singh rebelled against the बलदेव सिंह एंड ड्यू टू दिस फैमिली डिस्प्यूट इसमें चार्ल्स मेटकाफ आ जाते हैं एंड वो उसका फ़ायदा उठा लेते हैं और उनको विक्ट्री मिल जाती है भरतपुर में, ठीक है. लॉर्ड विलियम बेंटिक ने चार्टर लाए थे 3033 का. एजुकेशन में रिफॉर्म मैकॉले मिनट बोलते हैं. एनेक्सेशन ऑफ द मैसूर एंड कुर्ग, द ट्रीटी ऑफ द परपेचुअल फ्रेंडशिप महाराजा रंजीत सिंह के साथ. सो Charter Act, he redesigned the Governor General of Bengal as the Governor General of the India, and Lord William Bentinck was the first Governor General of the India. Bentinck. He deprived the Governor of Bombay and the Madras, and the Governor General was given the exclusive legislative power over entire of the India. He ended the activity of the company. Commercial body become a purely administrative. अब company क्या हो गई? Purely administrative हो गई. It attempt to introduce system of open competitive examination and provision of the neglected the opposition from the court of directors and no privileges to the company officials. Now there is a Macaulay minute. It was in 1835. At the arrival of the Bentinck, there was the controversy and language in which the governor was provided education to the people of the government school and colleges. So now they wanted to explore the English language. Several English officers who were the charge of education policy and that Sanskrit, Arabic और Persian को छोड़ के वो English की तरफ चले गए. And thus there were a two group like opposite views and that was Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian. इनकी जगह ये तो Orientalist कहलाए जो इसको फॉलो करते थे. एंड यहाँ पे राजा राम मोहन राय भी थे, इस समय एक लीडर थे. एंड दोज हु आर फेवरिंग द इंग्लिश दे आर द एंग्लिटिस्ट एंड देयर डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन फेमस एंग्लिटिस्ट एंड ओरिएंटिस्ट कंट्रोवर्सी. एज ए लॉ मेंबर इन द गवर्नर जनरल काउंसिल, बेंटिक प्लेस द मैकॉले इन द चार्ज ऑफ एजुकेशन एंड मैकॉले engaged himself prepare the education policy and he knew it impossible to teach English language to the masses. Now Bentinck resolution opened a new chapter of the history. It was from that time Western education becomes rapidly. Annexation of the Mysore and Coorg in 1831. इसने कुर्ग के अंदर भी annexation कर लिया और मैसूर पर भी annexation कर दिया, ठीक है. Now as a Diwan and earned the praise British for progressive and innovative administration and यहाँ पर द कुर्ग वार हुआ था. ब्रिटिश इंडिया कंपनी एंड द स्टेट ऑफ द कुर्ग वॉज वॉन बाय द ब्रिटिश एंड सब्सिक्वेंटली कुर्ग वॉज एनेक्स्ड. कुर्ग को भी एनेक्स कर दिया ब्रिटिशर्स ने. अब है लॉर्ड मेटकाफ. लॉर्ड मेटकाफ को क्या बोलते हैं? ही पास द न्यू प्रेस लॉ फॉर द प्रेस फ्रॉम प्रीवियस रेस्ट्रिक्शन. सो प्रेस लॉ वॉज द बैकग्राउंड एंड जेम्स ऑगस्टस हिक्की जो था, जेम्स ऑगस्टस हिक्की. So it was in Augustus Hickey. It was in 1780 Bengal Gazette of the Calcutta General Advisor, the first newspaper in India which was staged 1872, and the Bengal General, Calcutta Chronicle and Madras Courier, Bombay Herald. The company officers were worried that these newspapers might be reach London and expose the mislead. सेंसरशिप ऑफ द प्रेस. इसने क्या किया था? लॉर्ड मेटकाफ ने सेंसरशिप कर दिया. 1799 में लॉर्ड वेलेस्ली ने इसको इनेक्ट किया था. एंटिसिपेटिंग फ्रेंच इन्वेजन इन इंडिया, इट इम्पोज ऑलमोस्ट वार टाइम प्रेस रेस्ट्रिक्शन एंड लाइसेंसिंग रेगुलेशन भी दिया था 1823 में. एक्टिंग एज ए गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ जॉन एडम्स हु हैड रिएक्शनरी व्यू and this restriction was directly chiefly against Indian languages newspaper and those edited by Indians. Rajaram Miratul Akbar and had to be stopped the publication. So licensing regulation भी लगाया था, censorship of the press भी लगाया था, pre censorship भी start किया था, ठीक है. Lord Hastings who had progressively views the pre censorship of the with that was the censorship of the press and licensing regulation. Now Press Act of the Metcalfe Act. So Press Act was liberation of the Indian press as a Metcalfe A new press act was required to printer and publisher to give the precise account of the publishers and cease to the functioning. Now next one is फर्स्ट एंग्लो अफगान वार. ये भी ऑकलैंड के समय हुआ था अफगान वार. ठीक है, तो ये हम बाद में देखेंगे. एंड होप यू